episode 5, I believe we're up to now. The Stress of Her Regard. And it's your boy Icon with a DC Amazon Prime review for you. And before I even say anything else, shout out for the King Tut reference. Let's just get that out the way. Y'all brought it back, old school. Adam West, Burt Ward, like the fact that like we got Baby Doll on Kite Man, which is a nice reference. The fact that y'all bust out King Tut on Batman King Crusader, y'all is shit for that. I will never say anything bad about this show ever again. And before we get started, hit the notification bell, like it or subscribe, and let's get started with some bad action. So Batman ran up on King Tut. He did everything with the Bat-2C. And when he ran up on King Tut, he found out that the man, because that was always the thing, like the King Tut character, he had like, you know, mental issues where he thought he was like an ancient pharaoh and everything. And when he got hit on the head, like he thought he was King Tut, whatever. So, but in this one, they changed a little bit to the point where he was basically brainwashed into thinking he was an Egyptian pharaoh. I mean, the man, he collected like Egyptian artifacts and Egyptian art, but he wasn't actually a pharaoh. So I said he was brainwashed. So Batman ran up on him, and then, you know, he stopped him from doing whatever he was doing, and then he locked him up, put him in jail. They found out that the man was crazy, and they put him in the psych ward. So now he's going around trying to figure out who brainwashed this guy, and this leads us to Barbara, Harleen Quinzel, and Detective Montoya. And like I said before, Montoya and Harley basically went out on a date together. They got that out of the way. I knew that shit was going to happen. Barbara and Harley were having a conversation at a cafe, which is what brought Montoya in, which sparked the dinner date. And then that's when we get the backstory into what Harleen Quinzel is actually doing. So now that they have this, so as Barbara, she was awarded as like the counsel for King Tut, like she was supposed to be like his public defendant. And then she was having a conversation with him, and then she was just like, you know, who did this to you and everything. And then he kept saying like Harleen Quinzel. So now Barbara's like, shit. She's like, you know, that's my best friend. So then later on, we actually get a look into what Harleen Quinzel does. So she's at a mansion. And for some reason, the guy who was her butler in the mansion, he actually looked like Alfred. So she's in the mansion, and she was having, well, before that, she was having a counseling session with another rich tycoon. And at the end of the session, the person was just like, wow, doc, you know, I got a lot of things off my chest. I actually feel better. And then she was like, no, because I don't think you've learned anything. And I think we need to go deeper with your therapy in order for us to fully cure you. And then she basically handcuffed him, knocked him out, and brought him back to this mansion. The mansion was full of different types of rich tycoons, all who had like particular issues, and she brainwashed each one of them because these were people who she deemed that she couldn't help. These are people who couldn't be helped in normal counseling sessions. So when the counseling gets taken further, that's when the brainwashing comes in, which explains 2 episodes ago when she had, during the Catwoman episode, when she was talking to Bruce, and she told Bruce, she was like, oh, Bruce, I think we should continue, you know, like our therapy sessions. Her plan was she was going to kidnap, trap, and like, you know, brainwash Bruce Wayne as well. The whole purpose of her doing this, she was using it to basically get the money out of these guys, because a lot of these guys, they were like brokers, like insurance agents, you know, like lawyers, doctors. She was basically brainwashing them and stealing their money. And for some reason, when she's dressed like Dr. Harleen Quinzel, she looks all like frumpy and like boxy. But then when she had on the Harley Quinn outfit, she was all like slender, and like she was still curvy, which was fine. But she looked a lot slender. And I'm just like, why do you look like 2 different people both in and outside of the costume? Well, anyway, so now like I said, so she's brainwashing these people, and she's going to dinner with Montoya while all these people are still stuck in. Batman, he ended up breaking into her because Batman, the last person that Harleen had, well, I guess we can call her Harley. The last person that Harley had brainwashed, Batman went to his house to go look up some clues and everything. When he went into the guy's secret vault, he saw a notepad that had all the sessions that he had with Harleen Quinzel. And then for some reason, the police knew that he was there, and then they threw us. And this was funny. Like, the police knew he was in the vault. They took a smoke bomb and threw a smoke bomb into the vault to try to draw Batman out. And they're just sitting there like, come out with your hands up, Batman, or we'll shoot. Batman just picked up the cannon and threw that shit right back out into the hallway. And I was just like, every single time we watch some sort of like action-based, police-based like action like type of thing, you always see the smoke thing where somebody throws the smoke cannon in an attempt to smoke out like the bad guys. Nobody ever thinks to pick it up and throw it back outside. I thought that was like hilarious. So like they throw it back outside, you know, like, and then Batman proceeds to go out there and like he starts beating up the cops one by one. He ends up leaving like Flask and Bullock standing, then he dips. Now, because Barbara was told by King Tut that Harley was the person who basically brainwashed him, she went to Harley's office to go talk to her. And when Barbara got there, Batman was there, and he was like ramsacking through her shit, and then like he got what he needed and he dipped. Barbara, not being stupid, she looked at what Batman was looking at, and she ended up getting the address to where one particular patient was, the patient that Batman took his address out of her book. So Barbara drives down to the house where this person is, and I have no idea why she went down there in the business suit. Like, and she went down there with like her pencil skirt and like her, I'm just like, if you're going to do this shit, get a pair of sweatpants. Like, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to tease the Batgirl thing, that was their opportunity to put this girl in like black, yellow, and purple, like a jumpsuit, like sneakers or something. She rolls up to the mansion wearing high heels and a pencil skirt and a blazer jacket, and she was about to scale a wall. So then when she's about to climb over the wall to go sneak into the house and see what's going on, Batman ran up. He's like, bitch, what the fuck you doing? He's like, yo, you out here. He's like, you out here in the lawyer outfit and you about to climb a fence. Like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, take your ass back to Gotham. Batman goes into the house, and then when he's in the house, he starts looking around. Alfred the butler ends up calling Harleen while she was at dinner with Montoya. And then while they were at dinner, he was just like, madam, this is like the Batman has arrived. And she was just like, thanks for telling me. So she's like, I'm going to go down there and kill him. She told Montoya, she was like, yo, meet me at this jazz bar later and we'll pick up where we left off. The two of them kissed. I mean, I thought my whole thing about their relationship, it should have lasted a little bit longer than it actually did. Like before we got the reveal that Harley was actually a bad guy. I mean, we all knew it was coming, but before we got that reveal, I kind of wish that the love relationship between the two of them would have extended a little bit more. So this way, when Montoya finds out that she's a bad guy, it would hit more because you only went on one date. So it's like, why would you care at this point? So anyway, so Harleen goes back down to the mansion. She's in full like Harley Quinn outfit, you know, like she ends up rolling up on Batman. And then she was just like, yeah, she said, I knew it was only a matter of time before you'd come after me, Batman, because you have a thing for costume freaks. She's like, but I'm not going to jail. So these people that are brainwashed, I'm gonna have them beat your ass. And the first person that, you know, like beat your ass, like, you know, gets a cookie or whatever. So they attack Batman. Batman's fighting him off, and they end up knocking him over and getting him into one of the cages that she was putting these guys in. So she ends up locking him in the cage. She gasses him to pass him out. And then she sets a timer to blow up the entire mansion. All the guys that she had brainwashed, she tells them to leave. She leaves. She gets in a car. But then as she's driving off, now Batman was down for the count. Like, he didn't have an answer for this shit. But as she's like driving off, she noticed Barbara's car was parked over to the side. And then she was like, shit, Barbara went in the house. So she goes back. And then when Barbara's there, she sees Batman locked up and passed out. So Barbara's trying to get Batman out of this cage. Harley shows up, and then she's just like, Barbara, you have to get out of here. And then she's like, no, not till you tell me everything. And then she's like, I'll explain everything, but we got to go. She's like, but I'm not leaving without Batman. So then like they try to get Batman out. The clock hit 0. The house started exploding. And then when the house started to explode, the cage that Batman was in broke off and fell into the ocean. So then Barbara and Harley, they try to escape the mansion. And then like the ground had imploded underneath their feet. Harley almost fell into the ocean, but then Barbara caught her. So then she was just like, yo, help me pull you up. And then she was like, no, Babs. She was like, I'm not going to do it. Because she said, first of all, I'm not going to Arkham and I ain't going to prison. So you might as well just let me go. And you know, like we'll continue this later. So then the beam that she was holding on to broke. Both of them went crashing into the ocean. And then Batman just showed up and caught him and caught Barbara. And I was like, yo, he was passed out like 20 seconds ago. So like, how does he do this? So he grabs Barbara. Harley falls into the ocean. And then after that, Batman, he tried to read Barbara the riot act. He was just like, you were reckless. First of all, Barbara just saved his ass. But then he was just like, oh, you were reckless. You shouldn't have went in there. And then she told him to shut up. And then she was just like, I just lost my best friend. And she started crying. And then Batman was like, my bad. And then he kind of felt bad and he left. So then after that, the cops showed up. And then Barbara was just still sitting there crying. And then they put the camera on Montoya, who's still waiting in front of the jazz club. Harleen called her on a payphone, and for some reason Montoya knew to answer the payphone. And then when she answered the payphone, she was just like, yeah, this is Harleen. She's like, I gotta leave Gotham, but I'll be back. I'll find you and take care of Barbara for me. So at this point, she doesn't know that Harleen is like the bad guy, but I guess she'll find out because obviously Barbara's gonna tell everybody. So that's the whole thing. So it left. I actually felt bad. It left with Montoya being like heartbroken and like ghosted. But that's how the episode ended. Say la vie. Thank you for tuning in. So now, yeah. So this is actually a good episode, and I do like the fact that they created a situation where Harley's craziness was independent of the Joker. Maybe we'll find out later on she was working for Joker all along. There was a pudding reference, you know, like during the episode. Maybe we'll find out that she actually is working for Joker. But the situation that they presented for us here just showed that she was an independent villain, like independent of the Joker. And I was actually cool with that. So share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below, and let's continue to talk about it. What'd you think about Harley Quinzel, about Harley Quinn? What do you think about the Harley Quinn reveal? Everything in between, where this goes from here. Please only talk about this particular episode, don't spoil it, and let's roll on for some more superhero goodness. Check out my other videos, because I got Kite Man up on my channel, I got Suicide Squad Isekai up on my channel, I got Cobra Kai up on my channel, and I'm still waiting for that Lara Croft Tomb Raider, so we can do that for you guys as well. So that was it, guys. So thank you for tuning in. So until we review episode 6 of The Batman, watch out for Harley Quinzel, watch out for King Tut, because that was a shocker. And until next time, without this bitch!